Okay, so I would like to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded. And so we ask that you please rename your Zoom name to your full name and the organization that you're with. And if you are a resident, you can just put the letter R. And so for roll call, I am just going to go down the list as it appears on my screen. And when I call on you, if you can please unmute and then say which organization you're with. Okay, so first up, we have Abdul Feda. I don't think we can hear you, Abdul Feda.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Abdul. I am from the EPA Region 9. I am one of the EJ coordinators. I am my area of focus is Sacramento in Northern California. I've been to this meeting at least once, I guess, previously. So this is my second time. So yeah, here listening in and share some information related to the EJ and what EPA does. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Next, we have Bonnie.
Hello, I'm Bonnie May. I'm with Momentum. We are a consulting firm that has helped Stockton with the blueprint that we'll be presenting on today.
Thanks, Bonnie. Next, we have Catherine.
Hi there, I'm Catherine Reed from Biotech, and here is part of the last agenda item there, the hydrogen production facility.
Thanks, Catherine. And then we have GCH.
Hi, that may be me. This is Jack Hedge. I'm also with Biotech, and I'm calling in on my phone, so that may be why it's coming in as JCH. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you and welcome. And next we have John Fredich.
Yeah, John Friedrich with Momentum Strategist here. Colleague of Bonnie is also working on the blueprint that we'll be presenting during the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Chamberlain with Anchor QEA, consultant to the port on environmental compliance elements. So just here to listen in today on community feedback.
Thanks, Katie. Welcome. Next we have Margot.
Hi, Margot Prouse here, Praus. I'm a resident in the AB 617 group and a chair of our local Sierra Club. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have Maria.
Hi, my name is Maria Podaka. I'm with Biotech, the Director of Hub Development, here to speak about the Biotech Hydrogen Production Facility at the port.
Thank you. Welcome. Then we have Mariah.
Hi, everyone. I almost started talking when Maria was talking because I'm so used to my name being mispronounced Maria. Hi, everyone. Mariah Looney with Restore the Delta. I'm the campaign coordinator. Nice to be here with you all.
Thank you. Then we have Maureen.
Hi, I'm Maureen VA. Hi, I'm Maureen VA. I'm an environmental consultant with the port.
Thank you. Then we have Matthew.
Good evening, everyone. Matthew Hansen with US EPA Region 9 in our air division. Thanks for letting me be here.
Thank you, Matthew. Then we have M. Greminger. Probably not pronouncing.
First time, Michelle Greminger with Biotech. I'm here to listen in on the Biotech Hydrogen Facility.
Thank you. Welcome. And then we have Nicole.
Hi, everyone. Nicolette Densberger. I'm with the California Air Resources Board in the Marine Strategy section. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Then we have Douglas.
Hello, everyone. I'm a resident, and also I'm on the subcommittee 617, and I am a disability advocate for environment and justice. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have Taylor.
Hey, everybody. Taylor Williams with Edge Collaborative. Good to be here.
Thanks, Taylor. And then from the Port of Stockton, we have Commissioner Atwater, Jeffrey Wingfield, Jason Cashman, Karen Romero, Victoria Lucero, and myself. And then with that, I will turn it back on over to you, Jeff.
Great, thank you. Thank you for everybody for being here. We really appreciate your participation and wanting and interest in the port and the projects that we're working on. So I will give a few updates on things. If you heard me give these same updates or very similar at the AB 617 meeting, I apologize, but wanted to provide the latest updates. So we're actively engaged in seeking out grant funding for charging infrastructure at the port. So we've received 6 fast chargers awarded through the core voucher program. Those chargers have been installed, and I believe they are currently active. We will be ordering another 10 fast chargers through Energize, and everything that we're doing right now is these are fast chargers. We've got quite a few of the level 2 chargers, but to get to where we need to be, we need fast chargers to be able to do opportunity charging and things like that for our heavy duty lifts. We have applied. We've been working with Congressman Harder's office. He is interested in helping the port fund a bonnet capture and control system. So that is very exciting. And so we've got everything submitted. They will be taking that project to the Appropriations Committee. And so we're kind of we've provided them all the information. We're just kind of in a wait and hold pattern right now until we hear. But if we can get that installed, prior to 2027, that would be a great benefit to the community. So thank you. I wanted to thank you guys too. I think a number of you sent in letters of support for us. So really appreciate you guys working with us to attract that additional funding to Stockton. Right now, we've got our rail bridge and rail improvements project. I think you guys are all familiar with that. We have submitted that project for the CAUSTA funding. That's the Port Freight Infrastructure Program funding. We've submitted it for TCEP, which is the Transportation Corridor Enhancement Program. And we are preparing to send that also for the Port Infrastructure Development Program. That's through DOT and MARAD. We're actively, we didn't think we were going to have to submit. We were hoping we could submit other projects this year, but we have not heard back yet on the CAUSTA and the TCEP applications. So that's kind of throwing a little bit of a wrench in our program. But hopefully with all of those 3 opportunities, we'll be able to significantly fund the rail bridge and rail projects. We did get a 2022 Port Infrastructure Development Program grant. That was for the rail hardening. That's just all it is taking the rail that's existing currently on the lead at the port, and that is placing a heavier gauge to be able to handle longer and heavier trains to support projects like the soda ash project and things like that. Next slide. Oh, I did want to say, sorry, if you can go back real quick. I did put the picture here that's showing kind of what the bonnet capture and control system kind of looks like. We're not sure if ours is going to be barge based like the one that we're showing here or land based, but we're in the process of trying to figure out what that would look like. But that's similar to what we're trying to attract at the port. We did host a waterway cleanup on March 25th. I want to thank the number of people that came out. We had over 40 volunteers. It was a great effort. We were able to pick up 9,000 approximately pounds of trash from Roberts Island that's adjacent to the waterway out there. We had a number of commissioners that came out. Thank you to Commissioner Atwater, who was out there. Commissioner Trezza, the port director, was out there. A number of staff, which was tremendous. Environmental Justice Coalition for Water, Sierra Club, DR Pipeline, SSA Pacific, and BWC were some of our tenants that came out as well. So that was a great opportunity to get out and kind of make a difference. It was interesting. We kind of thwarted a few people who were trying to actively dump while we were out there. So we said, you can place it right here in this dumpster. And so that was a great benefit. So thank you guys. And we'll let this group know on the next cleanup, which should be in the next few months. On March 23rd, we had Nikola, who is a zero emission Class 8 truck manufacturer. They came out, they were on a Northern California road show, and they were able to bring out one of their hydrogen trucks and one of their electric trucks. And so we attracted as many tenants as we could to come out. They were able to test drive them and run them around and really put their hands and eyes on them. And it was a great opportunity to kind of show, what the future looks like. And I did talk to them yesterday, and they did have at least one order that came out of their showing up at the port. So they were very happy about that. Next slide. We finished up our 2020 emission inventory. We are going to be starting up our 2022 emission inventory very soon. You might wonder why there's a lag, but we need all the information from the previous years. We have to finish up 2022 before we can start pulling all the data to be able to do the next emission inventory. So we're catching up. The great thing about 2020, I think we gave a presentation, but I just wanted to hit some highlights because we did just finalize it, that cargo handling equipment, we were able to reduce 66% of the particulate matter from cargo handling operations with the implementation of our zero emission cargo handling equipment. So I thought that was a tremendous start to all of our efforts, and to see some of that those efforts come to fruition and the feedback we're getting from our emissions inventory. So that was great. NOx also was reduced by 24%. And as I said, we're starting on the 2022 emission inventory currently. I'm going to try to wrap up fairly quickly. The jobs board, we have that active. I think we've talked about it here previously. I will just say, especially for community members, if you could help us get the word out in the community to have residents who are interested in jobs at the port sign up. We are pushing really hard with our tenants, and we've got a number of jobs up there now, including some internship opportunities. So please get the word out. We'll be sending out other information kind of similar to this, so make it easy for you to send that information on. But it's a wonderful opportunity for not only our tenants, but the community as well. The clean air plan, we have finalized that for the most part. I think we were just finalizing the last comments. So that's going to be going to a presentation to our board, and it will then be posted onto the website. So you can go and see that as well. Green Marine certification was done in March. We're happy to report we were recertified. We will have a booth at Earth Day at Victory Park, April 23rd. If you want to come out and see us, we're going to be handing out vegetable plants and things like that, and telling the story about what we're doing at the port. And then we've got some students coming out for a tour in the not too distant future from Merlot at Stockton Unified. So we're really excited about any opportunities we can to educate students and the public in general about the port. And if you haven't come out for a tour and you're interested, please reach out to us. We're happy to do it, and we'll get you set up and show you all the great things that are happening out there. And then we're going to do an out presentation for Washington Elementary in the next month, which will be great. It's always fun. The students get really excited about it. They get to see our outcams and see what's going on there. But also we get to tell them about ports and kind of what's all going on behind the fences over at the port. And then we're also supporting Washington Elementary. Their 8th grade dinner is going to be at the Lindley House. We're going to host them. So the 7th graders, actually, it's kind of like their graduation / prom, where the 7th graders kind of serve the 8th graders as they're getting ready to graduate and move on to high school. So we're happy to be able to support that out at the Lindley House. And then State of the City, we will be hosting that in May as well. And then one other thing I wanted to go back, and I'm glad you're here, Taylor. We were able to sit down with Taylor and Edge Collaborative to talk about other grant opportunities that the port can go after. There's just a lot of grant funding out there. We're going after a ton of it, but also, I mean, there's going to be a lot of opportunities that we would pass up unless we can get additional resources and staffing to help attract a lot more of those dollars. So I think that covers my updates. Were there any questions? All right,
Oh,
thanks.
I have a couple of questions, Jeff.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi.
It's been a while. These are not necessarily relevant to the updates, just some questions that I have. I know that the commissioners are, they have to follow the Brown Act, and I don't know if this is like, this committee that we're in now is like an official advisory committee, or if there is an advisory committee to the commissioners. So that's my first question.
Okay.
Is this an advisory committee? And if not, is there an advisory committee?
I wouldn't say this is an advisory committee. We share all the information that comes out. So it definitely, I mean, if you want to make a statement here, you know, that information will get back to the port director and the commission. But I would say no, and there's not I would say a formal advisory committee to the board. The way we handle it now is just by submitting comments during our public board meetings.
Sure. Okay, so
if I could add to that, we do have public comment periods at every board meeting, and you can make those comments via video or in person or in writing.
okay, perfect.
We listen very carefully, and our focus is on making the planet better.
Great. Yeah, I asked because I know that I'm on some other like state advisory committees, and I know with COVID ending, like the pandemic ending, there are different rules and stuff for that. So that's why I was asking if things would change in that regard.
Yeah, if more than three of them get together, it's essentially we have to follow the Brown Act, and it's a board meeting.
Sure. Yeah. It also just there's just some other stuff with advisory committees, but if that doesn't if that does not apply here, then that's okay. And then the only other question, I know that we have a lot, like the two things are pretty big things, I would think, on the agenda. And I know that we are ending at 5 o'clock, but I would assume that if some of those presentations go on past 5 o'clock, that we honor questions that would be answered by the community, and not just have a hard stop at 5 o'clock.
Okay, I don't think that would be a problem.
Okay.
I think that the only other thing we'll have a public meeting for the, a CEQA public meeting for the Bayotech project.
Sure, because this is the outreach committee, I don't want some of these questions to be taken offline, because I think that, we're all here now, and I think that I just want to respect people's commitment to this committee and be able to ask the questions that we might have now, as well as the CEQA process. So thank you for that.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Anything else? The only thing I didn't talk about it, and I should at least a little bit, that I know that there is a lot of interest in our rerouting of truck traffic. And that is one of our priority projects, the Washington Street widening and the Ventura realignment. We are working in the background doing engineering and doing some due diligence. And so I will have an update on that project in the next month or two. And that's all I have. I'll turn it back over to you, Julia.
Yes, and so next up, we've got Momentum presenting on the electrification blueprint.
Sorry about that. I can't share my screen right now. Julia, are you able to pull up the presentation just so that there's no delay?
I actually do not have it on the computer that I am, but I can grab it real quick. If we wanted to switch and get started with Bayotech, I can pull that up after they're completed.
That's fine. If Bayotech is ready to go.
Yeah, I can do that as well. So I was just going to share my screen here. So. Are you able to see my screen with the ones
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes, perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Let me move this out of the way here so that I can kind of go through this. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for your time. My name is Maria Cortez. Sorry, I'm used to it. I just recently got married. So my name is Maria Apodaca, and I'm the Director of Project Development at Bayotech. I'm pleased to be here today to just talk about the hydrogen production facility that we are planning at the Port of Stockton. And a little bit of the agenda, but be happy to go through the agenda of the presentation. But if you do have any questions, feel free to ask, or we can ask at the end of the presentation as well. Okay. So who are we? Who's Bayotech? We are a producer and distributor of low carbon hydrogen. Our hydrogen production technology came out of the Sandia National Labs out of New Mexico. Our technology is a modular design meant to be brought up to users rather than trucking the hydrogen in. And by bringing the hydrogen to the port, we make hydrogen on site more reliable and more cost effective, and we reduce the emissions. The hydrogen produced by Bayotech is proven to be safe, reliable, and a sustainable technology, which we're able to also deliver the hydrogen via our high pressure gas transport trailers that we also manufacture. It's a safe and close to the demand to be able to distribute the hydrogen near to the consumers and particular to the port. Our company is headquartered in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we do have a manufacturing facility in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we produce the transport trailers. The picture that you see there at the bottom, that is our transport trailers that we produce in Oklahoma. And we, to date, have already manufactured over 700 units of that. So we're really excited and proud of that for our customers, including the Chevron and Plug Power. Bayotech, about approximately 100 plus employees. We've been in business for about over 10 years. So where are we? Headquarters, again, like I mentioned, we're in Albuquerque, but we are currently have different hubs in development. Some that are, we have one in Missouri that is under construction currently. And we do have several other projects in one of the Port of Stockton where we're looking at the Riverside County, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Detroit that we are planning on building our next hubs. So they're in the process of permitting. So they're all at different stages of review with the local authorities. So this is kind of a map that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at and where we're looking as we continue to develop our hydrogen production facilities throughout the United States. That was a little bit about Bayotech. Next, we'll kind of look at more about where we're at in the port itself. The ports are taking on a challenge to reduce carbon emissions, right? Becoming more leaders in climate solutions. The hydrogen electric fuel cell technology is emerging as a clean alternative to fossil fuels to power the equipment, such as the cranes and forklifts and stackers and whatnot. But hydrogen is a clean fuel that when consumed in a fuel cell, it produces only water and heat by the byproducts and able to produce deliver hydrogen as a different alternative fuels. Hydrogen technology is an effective solution for the ports with its ability to reduce the emissions, optimize energy, reduce noise, and increase the energy efficient while also providing a fast refueling and consistent power delivery to our customers. Bayotech, this is it, right? This is the location that we have here. Bayotech is working to develop this renewable source hydrogen at the port. This hydrogen would be available to fuel equipment that we operate currently at the port. And we're also able to market and sell the hydrogen to other end users within the region and provide on-site distribution services based on the demand. What you see here, the map is the overall site location of where we're looking to plan to our the port. And then the corner here of the map, see if you can see my cursor, is the location that it's about a 5 acres area of this top section. That's open land that you can see there. And as we zoom in closer to the left side, you see that this is the plan view of what all of the equipment is. It's all outdoor equipment, and it's protected with fencing and bollards. We provide all guidelines through all of the NFPA 2, which is the authority for permitting and coding for hydrogen production and any hydrogen. So the bottom picture shows the existing area, what it looks like today, just a flat land. And so this is a little picture of and where we're at.
Maria, I have a question, if you could go back to that.
Of course.
So I know exactly where this is. That's Pelican and Airgas.
Yes.
Do you have any signed agreements with them?
Sign agreements for what?
Just do you have any, like, have you been in communication with them?
Yes,
like, do they know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've been in communication with them, but at this point, until we have a lease agreement finalized with the port, which we're at the last stages, we haven't open agreement. We can't do any type of joint venture of easement as we pass through, but we have definitely had several communications with them in the past.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. This is a rendering, conceptual look of what our hub location will look like. This is more of what a one unit will look like. It's this Bayotech owned and operated infrastructure is designed to produce up to 2,000 kilograms of hydrogen a day. The hydrogen will be distributed, like I mentioned before, to customers via the compact trailers that you see back here. So the larger unit right here that you see, it's a smaller steam reformer system of hydrogen production that we produce, and the other are all outdoor equipment, all the ancillary equipment that is used to compressors and storage for the hydrogen production. And then the trailers that you see there is the ones that will actually distribute. So this is not exactly what it is going to be at the port. This is a 1,000-ton production unit facility, but it is similar as far as the equipment and what we will have there. Mariah, do you still have a question?
I do have another question. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. No, that's okay.
I might have a lot of questions, so I don't apologize for having questions, but I just want to make sure that we're clear on that.
Sure.
So can you describe like the pipeline that will happen because of this? Like, is it new or is it repurposed?
So
like
how we
where does it start and end?
Okay, so I can go back probably to this view here. How we produce the hydrogen is by using natural gas and water and electricity, right? So the natural gas is the pipeline that is going to be coming in from PG&E, and coming out of here, Navy Drive and the Navy Drive main road. And there is an existing pipeline that's already on the port, and that's going to be connecting. So it's all underground piping of a regular natural gas pipeline. Power also by PG&E. There is an existing power extension there that we also going to be connecting that is already locally here at the port. With the water, we're also working with the water department to bring in the water and bring in a pipeline that is going to be all underground, all along the Navy Drive and the outer portion that you see here on the rail. Thank you.
Mary Elizabeth has a question as well.
Yes.
Thank you. And you partially answered it. I was wondering what your feedstock was for your hydrogen production. And what do you anticipate your flow through to be? And were you planning on distributing that hydrogen in any other way other than above ground tankers as you've shown?
Yeah, no. So our distribution will be only by those trailers that similar trailers that you see on the other photo. And then, sorry, the other question was, well, we are all the underground, the gas and water and electric is all underground coming into our facility.
Thank you. The question was, what was your flow through, right?
Okay. So for a 1 ton production, it is about 10,000 CFM. And for 2 ton, it will be about approximately 20,000 CFM of natural gas.
And that's cubic feet per minute?
Cubic feet per hour.
Oh, per hour. CFM? Oh, CMH. Okay, thank you. I misheard. I apologize. And how many batches were you planning on going through the system in a week?
So we are producing 2,000 kilograms of hydrogen a day. We are operating 360 days a year. So running every day, 24 hours a day.
And that 2,000 kilograms, that's 10 CFH?
2,000 kilograms will be 20,000 CFH.
Okay, so 1,000 kilograms is one batch?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, Douglas, you also have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you explain to me what hydrogen is? Is that gas or is that what is it? Can you elaborate? I got other questions besides that too also.
What hydrogen is?
Yes.
Yes, so hydrogen is a natural resource, right? How we're producing it is we are producing hydrogen from natural gas and water and electric by using a steam reformer system to produce hydrogen for fuel. It's a fuel.
Okay, so it's a fuel of what? Gasoline for diesel or truck or ship or what are your what is it in? What? Go ahead.
It's a replacement. I'm sorry. This is Jack Hedge with Biotech. So hydrogen is an element that is actually the most abundant element on the planet. And by taking hydrogen, we're able to create a renewable source of fuel for use by trucks, cranes, the lifting equipment, things like that. That the day on port emissions, we're able to reduce fuel.
You were cutting out.
Okay, now my last question is also how secure and safety of this particular plant that by any means, God forbid, that it doesn't explode and I don't get my house on fire from across the channel that I have right next to me. Are they gonna have any facility that's gonna be any protection and oversee site that will anything that might cause a fire or damage and explosion, something like that? That's all my biggest concern.
So yes, of course, safety is always our main concern as well, right? The hydrogen, it's been for many years producing hydrogen, right? So there's actually code requirements that we're supposed to abide by and guidelines of safety. We put in safety devices to in case of any leaks or anything like that will happen. So we will comply by all of the codes. All of our plans will be reviewed by the local authorities, which is going to confirm and verify that all of our system is designed accordance with all of the strict safety requirements as well. So we will definitely have all of those safety requirements basically, and going above and beyond what is needed to make sure that we have the safety on it. The emergency shutdown switches, which in case of any leaks happen, are incorporated into the program, and we have technicians that can easily operate that. And also we have a center of excellence that manages this 24/7 remotely in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that they can actually also shut down the entire station remotely as well. And
Perfect. So that's awesome. So in other words, that so it would not, this would not affect any of our environment. That we are also on like the 617 air quality, and in particular will be minimized or be more affected by it. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, so yeah, absolutely. By using hydrogen, we're definitely minimizing any emissions, and we're able to produce a much safer environment by using an alternative fuel that is greener and better for the environment. That is the whole idea and purpose of what we like to, we're here.
Yeah, it could actually.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. Really, thank you so much for your answer. Thank you.
Douglas, it could actually fuel some of the zero emission equipment that we've been talking about. So it's definitely, Ed, you've been very patient. You have a question?
I tell my wife Patience is my middle name, but she says the P stands for something else. No, I'm very excited about this. The trailers are the equivalent of how many gallons of liquid fuel typically, is one question. The second question is, will this hydrogen be available to the public? Because I think some know we actually own a hydrogen Mirai at my company. And unfortunately, the closest filling is either Pleasanton or Stockton. So it's somewhat of a albatross right now. So we're looking for opportunities. How will this work? Will we engage you guys and you come to us to fill, or do we come to you to fill? How will that work in the future? And is it open to the public, I guess would be the question.
It is not. It is not a public fueling. This will be directly for just for our distribution to our customers. But it will not be at the port. It will not be a public fueling. We are producing, so this is a production facility, and we will be using those trailers to transport the hydrogen to those local. So our goal is to get, there will be other local companies that will be able to distribute, to actually have the ability for public fueling. So our goal is to be able to take these trailers closer to them and have public fuelings there. There are many other public fuelings that are in the plan through other companies that are planning to operate and open up in California. So by us bringing it closer to the port, hopefully we'll be able to distribute to them a lot closer and be able to bring them closer to you as well. Each of these trailers, we have different sizes of trailers, but they hold anywhere from 200 to 400 kilograms of hydrogen, and 500 kilograms, it's equivalent to 211,000 SCF of hydrogen. But as far as you're actually looking for the equivalent of the hydrogen compared to for vehicles, right?
Yeah, yes, for liquid, just for interest's sake, we can throw around all of these different methods of metering hydrogen, but the easiest and simplest for everyone to understand is liquid gallons. What is the equivalent? You know, is it 80? Is it 100? Is it 120 per trailer? 200?
So yeah, and I honestly don't know. That's a very good question, and we need to answer that. A typical trailer that we've shown there carries about 750 kilograms of hydrogen, which is enough to fuel about 10 Class 8 trucks.
Okay.
So I don't know what that gallon equivalent is, but that gives you some idea of the volume that's in those trailers. So
that's a great answer.
Each of those trailer sets, okay, yeah, if each of those trailer sets hauls, say 750 kilograms, that's like 3 trailers a day, takes care of all the production at the plant.
Great.
And that's a couple hundred trucks.
So how far will you actually go with these trailers? I know that Pepsi just inked a $13 million deal on hydrogen class, I think 6 delivery vehicles. Or actually, I believe they were electric, but there are some companies out there. How far will you travel?
We go about cost effectively. It's about 200 miles, 200 to 300 miles at the most. So we'll be serving fueling stations, industrial customers, and of course, the port from this location.
Great. Well, I'm excited. I'm glad you guys got this going. This is a great opportunity, and I think hydrogen has a long future for us all. So thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Mary Elizabeth, you had another question? Mary Elizabeth?
Yes, sorry, I'm just a little slow on the unmute. Thank you, Ed. You always ask really good questions. So I was wondering about the emissions. So this is a fossil fuel feed source for this particular type of hydrogen that's being proposed here. And so what's going to be happening to those emissions?
So the feedstock is methane. So there's 2 ways that we're dealing with the emissions. First of all, is we are if you will, blending renewable natural gas from various biogas sources, and so that our carbon score is always going to be at least 0, if not below. The emission that comes off of our process, so that's for the feedstock going in. The emissions coming off of our process are hydrogen and CO2. And we are actively in negotiations right now with the CO2 capture to capture that CO2 and remove it from the site. So we would literally have a 0 emissions plant from operations.
Hi, I have another question. So you're capturing who are you working with to capture like the carbon capture sequestration? And where is that happening? Like, where are you putting it?
I'm sorry, I was just going to say the closest option that we're talking to is with Airgas, who is right next door. It's part of the facility that was originally built for Pelican. Airgas was built to do just that. And we are in conversations with them and a couple of other firms as well.
Okay. Are you working with companies that have like filed proprietary CCS injection applications?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. And then the reason I asked that is because it's like almost impossible for like community input and oversight to go into companies that file for private applications. I mean, I'm sure that you know this. That's kind of why we're here today, right? But I know the people at Airgas well, so that makes sense to me. Are there any other companies that you can think off the top of your head? If that's like not information that you're willing to share, that's okay. I just wanted to ask.
It's probably a little premature, but there are several. I will tell you there are several that we are talking to.
Okay, and then the only other question that I have in regards to this, and thank you for answering all of my questions. It is appreciated. Is one of those companies California Conservation Resources?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, thank you.
That name does not ring a bell with me, so that's not anybody that I've spoken to.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
And I'll go over a couple more things here, but I think some of the other slides that we have, I'll try to go quickly here, but they do answer some of the questions that you guys have had. So hydrogen hubs that will provide opportunities also for employment. We're going to contribute to the local tax base, positive effects to the local businesses, right? By helping establish a local hydrogen infrastructure, BayoTech is providing valuable resources to attract new sustainability-focused companies and communities while partnering also with the local companies to supply hydrogen, where it's most in demand. Our hydrogen hubs will generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax revenue to the state of California. And our hydrogen can be used, I know, Douglas, you were asking, to power zero-emission vehicles, power plants, reducing local emissions, and improving the air quality for our neighboring communities. Every diesel vehicle replaced with a hydrogen fuel vehicle will directly offset all those emissions. Yes, right, exactly. Yeah. Part of our outreach is wanting to get over to the community and engage with them by using all of our resources that we have, and just be able to educate and be able to be out there for them. The BayoTech method of hydrogen production produces the carbon neutral for even a carbon negative hydrogen. So when we produce the hydrogen from renewable natural gas and steam reforming, you can see that on the site here where you see BayoTech 110, this is by just the way of producing through natural gas. But by using other means of biogas, we are able to reduce that at 0 and even up to 100% negative carbon production. Yes, Douglas.
That's wonderful. That's a really positive thing about what you just said. But also, my big concern is that I think probably what Ed probably was thinking about, what about the economic thing for employment? Is that going to build Stockton economic employment with those particular facilities that you are offering in those sites as well?
So that's a great point. During construction as well, right? We will be definitely employing we reached out to the local labor unions, and so we'll be working with them to support us in the construction aspect. Anywhere from 50 to plus employees during the construction phases. And then we are already reaching out, like I mentioned, to local labor unions to be able to support us in that. And post that, we will be, also hiring for drivers and technicians and to facilitate the actual facility itself. So absolutely, and looking to do that with the local community is it's our goal.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yep. And a little bit of a timeline for where we're at. It is currently working through the environmental review process, where our draft ISMND is under development. So once the port releases that, that really will take on whatever timeline we're going to be from the review, with a hope to having our permitting through the city approved, and by the end of this year to be able to start construction in first quarter of 2024. and be able to have the operational plan by second to third quarter of 2024. One of the other items I did want to mention is that, you know, part of the outreach that we do with our community, and the outreach that we have is engaging with across the country and sharing results with safety and other officials for leadership to ensure that each community can benefit from our hydrogen hubs. Our local engaging with other local communities and taking impacts in STEM programs so that we can use them and enhance their volunteer and their communities to support us in that. For instance, one of the things that Catherine is also working with in our team is sponsoring a class in Missouri that is building and racing a hydrogen fuel mobile vehicle. So engaging with local communities to do that. In Wentzville is the one that is currently in construction, and so now engaging with them. We're also engaging with locally in Wentzville with the Rankin Community College, where the college itself is developing programs to provide innovative training for the equipment and future workforce in the hydrogen. So we're hoping to continue that across the nation.
Hi, me again.
Okay.
I see in the environmental review process where you're at, but is there an EIR? Like, have you already done the environmental impact report for this? Or is that in the works? And then if it has not been done yet, might I recommend that there's at least a 90-day like review period? I think that like 30 or 60 days, just because you are newer to our community, 30 and 60 days just is not enough time for us to respond in like a meaningful way. And our community deserves time to really be able to understand a lot of this because it's so new to the area. So where are you at with the EIR process, number one? And then I have a question for Jeff.
Jeff, you're on mute. Yeah, I think that's really more, maybe Jeff, you can probably answer that question.
Yeah, that's a question for us. I mean, that's our process. So the document is in draft form. It has not gone out yet. It will go out probably, I think we're looking in the next month or two. You know, Bayotech wanted to get out and talk to the community and get feedback before we went out on the streets. And on the 90-day request, I would like to convene internally with my team, and I can respond to that for you, Mariah.
Okay, thank you for that. Something else though that I would like to just mention, this is definitely a you question or a you comment, Jeff. On the port's CEQA like page, none of this is mentioned. And so like this project is not mentioned. And I was not able to find anything about Bayotech on the website. So I am very well versed at searching through websites, especially, you know, ones that are familiar with EIR. So I would just like to like flag that. I think that this is like a huge project, and the CEQA page is just not necessarily adequate. And I think that considering how much great stuff is happening at the port, that should be a priority for the community, that is updated correctly. I think the last project, I mean, there are a few projects that have 2022 stuff, but I don't see anything about Bayotech, and that's
no, it would not be there. And I'll just share kind of, so we are kind of in the due diligence period with Bayotech. We were in lease negotiations. Those kind of happened simultaneously to development of the CEQA document. And so we didn't know if we had a project even up until, you know, maybe last week, for instance. I mean, we needed to make sure that the lease terms were adequate for our board to approve. And then right now, this is when we're going public. As soon as the CEQA document hits the streets, it will be on our website. That's just our standard process.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm done with the asking questions.
Okay.
I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you. Thank you, Abdul, for joining. He has to take off.
Yeah, thank you all for your questions. That ends our presentation. I noted in here also any additional questions, please do feel free. Here's Jack and our Vice President of Hydrogen Hub Development and myself, where you can reach out to us for any further questions.
Wonderful.
Thank
And then
you.
I see Mary Elizabeth, you have your hand up. Did you have one final question?
Yes, just to follow up on the Lehigh, I understand that the company was in a sale status. Is there any update on that EIR?
No, there's not. We don't have any updates, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Well, thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much, Maria. We appreciate it. We appreciate you taking all the questions and providing great feedback to our group here. Much
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us and for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack. We appreciate it. Okay, much like David Letterman used to say a long time ago when David Letterman was around, we're gonna have to bump our next guest, unfortunately. Momentum will be back next month to give an update on the blueprint. We just don't have enough time to cover that today, but we'll look forward to that. Bonnie, was there anything you wanted to hit real